Hey everybody, it's me, Josh, the GameDad, and this is Pokemon Trading Card Game for the Game Boy Color. I loved the Pokemon card game as a kid. I mean, Pokemon in general, but I truly loved the Pokemon card game. I loved the Game Boy Advance game and the actual, or the Game Boy Color game, I should say, and the actual cards. So this just felt like something to me that was very natural to go to, and that I know a lot about, and I could tell a lot of stories about, and it'd be a fun game. So, without further ado, let's play. Plus, you know, a lot of people know Pokemon, a lot of people like Pokemon, so I only have 6 letters, so I guess I'll be the GameDad. GameDad is crazy about Pokemon and Pokemon card collecting. That is, it was factual at the time. One day, GameDad heard a rumor. The legendary Pokemon cards, the extremely rare and powerful cards held by Pokemon Trading Card Game's greatest players. The Grandmasters are searching for one to inherit the legend. Dreaming of inheriting the legendary Pokemon cards, GameDad visits the Pokemon card researcher, Dr. Mason. So they do the whole, you know, these cards are incredibly powerful and can reshape the world kind of thing, because, you know, of course they do. Why wouldn't they do that? Sorry, I just had to adjust this real quick. So, why the rush? You want to learn how to play the Pokemon trading card game? So, basically, right here at the beginning, it's just letting you know, like, dueling is more fun. So, the first duel is a forced practice duel. I'm going to go through it just because I don't know if everyone who's watching has played Pokemon Trading Card Game and knows the rules, or if they remember the rules. And it's fast enough that I figure that, like, I can breeze through and kind of explain things, but it gives you just a real quick refresher. And then it allows me to immediately go into some of the things you can do if you decide to play this game right away. I'm just going to skip this. So, basic idea with Pokemon card game is you made a 60-card deck, and you had 3 major type of cards, which were Pokemon cards, obviously, energy cards, which is what they use to attack, and trainer cards, which is like anything that has an effect that isn't a Pokemon. So, like, Bill is a trainer card, and it lets you draw 2 cards. You have your 60 cards, you shuffle, and then you draw 7. They literally explained just now he doesn't shuffle because it's a practice, and he wants you to have certain cards, but you shuffle normally. So I draw 7 cards, and it says, you know, choose your active Pokemon. You can only choose basic Pokemon, so you can't put out, like, a Charizard right away. You have to start with a basic level Pokemon. So he's forcing me to put out Goldeen. One thing most people don't know about this game, and I even didn't till I was an adult, if you are playing it and you push select, it organizes your cards for you. Puts all your energies together, puts all your Pokemon together, puts your trainers together. That's actually really handy to see things really fast. So, yeah. You may choose up to 5 basic Pokemon to put on the bench. The only other one I got is Staryu, so we're going with him. Again, only basic Pokemon. I just really like it. So, you put out 1 to start in the front area, and up to, you have 5 slots behind that one. So, 6 Pokemon, just like in the main game. I don't have any more, so push the B button, you're finished. There are 2 different ways to win the game. So, we put out 2 prizes. A lot of the battles in this game you'll see have 4 prizes. Against, like, the gym leaders or what have you, they'll do 6 prizes, and every so often you'll come into, like, a random one that'll only have 2. In the real game, you do 6. You take 6 cards from your deck, and you put them on that pile. This is where this is only going to happen right now, by the way, for the tutorial, where it tells me what to do point by point. So it's like, grab the energy card, attach it to this one, attack, blah, blah, blah. So, you put out those prizes. Every time you knock out one of the opponent's Pokemon, you get a prize. If you get all the prizes, you win. Boom, done, end of game. So, that's the end of that. Now, you can attach up to 1 energy per turn unless there's something that makes it different. Some Pokemon have something called a Pokemon Power that just it's active under certain circumstances. So, for instance, Blastoise has one that says you can add as many water energy from your hand as you want in a turn. But that's getting kind of embarrassing. So I had 1 per turn, I add it to Goldeen. Now Goldeen has 1 water energy, so it can use Horn Attack, deal 10 damage. Pretty simple. Each of those dots represents 10 HP because everything in Pokemon was in increments of 10. So, you know, he's got 40 HP left. He can take 4 hits. But he can also low kick me because it's Machop. He's actually kind of a pretty good basic Pokemon. So your Goldeen's gonna get knocked out. Yeah, it's because Goldeen sucks. Little known fact, and by little known fact, I mean it's pretty blatantly obvious. So here, that actually is a good piece of advice. So, it's not very common. You will not find me. One thing I love about this game is that it had all the cards from base set, jungle, and fossil, which are the first 3 sets. Those are the sets most people knew when they played. After that is where people started falling off. I didn't. I kept going. I played Team Rocket. I played the gym leader sets. I played up to Neo. Neo was where I fell off, but that was like when they first started introducing the Pokemon from Gold and Silver. So, and they introduced like Dark type and Steel type and things like that. But they had me at a Psychic because I'm going to evolve Goldeen into Seaking, and Seaking has an ability called Waterfall that does not need 2 water. I will be making a couple of decks in playing through this game, and I will not very likely be making decks just 1 color. I might, for fun, but for the most part I'll be mixing colors. And whenever you have like a dominant, you usually put more of one color than the other, so whenever you have the chance you want to split your energy well. So that was actually good advice for a game tutorial that is otherwise, you know, poo. I can't even lie. Actually, the tutorial here is pretty solid. It's not even that. It feels like it's longer than it is. This first episode will mostly be me doing this tutorial and then doing a couple tricks to get a lot of extra cards early on and kind of making my first deck. And we'll see if I have time to get into my first fight. We'll go. So I didn't even see what it told me to do. I think it was attach water energy to Staryu, and then it wants me to Horn Attack? Yeah. I didn't even read it, I just memorized it. I played this a lot growing up. What was good about it is, so, one of the cool things about this game is they had something called Card Pop, which I will not be able to do. But this game was what was called Game Boy Color Enhanced. So it was, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it was Game Boy Color Enhanced. In other words, you could play it on an original Game Boy. Someone feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, please. I may be just talking out of my behind. But, because I'm 99% sure you could play it on a Super Game Boy as well. But it had features that were Game Boy Color specific. So it had something called Card Pop. And for those who remember, the Game Boy Color, at the top of it had like a little black rectangle. It was like an IR reader. And if you had a Game Boy Color and you were playing, and someone else had a Game Boy Color they were playing, on the main menu you could click Card Pop, and you would ping those next to each other, and you'd get a card. And it was usually like a promotional card. And there were actually 2 cards, a Venusaur and a Mew, that you could only get with Card Pop. Now, I'm not playing on a Game Boy Color, obviously, so that's not really an option. But, you know, whichever. I think I need to play Drowsy. I can't even remember if I do, but I believe so. Water energy on Staryu, and let's kick some tail. This is practice mode, so please follow my guidance. Dang it! Okay, I'm sorry, I need to follow. Drowsy, put a water energy onto the Drowsy. Okay, that's why. I was a fool! That's not good advice, by the way, because just knowing the cards like I do, Drowsy wasn't really a benefit from a water energy, but sure, you do you. Well, you're gonna give people some instructions, why not? Sea King is super dead. The funny thing about it being, so I'm gonna choose a bench Pokemon, and it's gonna tell me to put Staryu. Because I know how it plays out. It's gonna end up with me evolving into Starmie and obliterating this Raticate. But what's funny about it is, do I get Starmie this turn or next turn? No, I get a potion. Let's get Staryu ready. See, if they had just had me put a water energy on it last turn, I mean, it wouldn't really change anything, but it just, whatever. I don't care. So, as I said, I played this game a whole lot. But I also played the physical cards a lot. And at the time, it was when I lived in a place in Massachusetts called Whitensville, which was, it's weird. You had a greater area known as Northbridge, and then within Northbridge, the smaller section of it was known as Whitensville. It's like the center of it. And it's really not exactly a big place, but where I ended up living was on a road right around from, like, the center of a town. I stretch to use that word, but I'll say town. Sure. And there was like a gas station. Well, I can't even say gas station. It was a convenience store. They didn't even have gas pumps. It was literally just like a corner store that one day they eventually got in Pokemon card packs. Like just a booster box on the counter with packs. I'm like, oh, I want them. And I was always really nice. And I talked to the guy behind the counter was named Gene. And I was in like the 5th grade. I want to say the 5th grade. So yeah, no, wait, I was paying attention. So I was like in the 5th grade, and the guy behind the counter, Gene, like I said, he was a super nice guy. I was always very polite, I was always very nice. He knew I loved the game, so my mom, like, once or twice a week, we'd go and, you know, I'd get a pack. And so then as new sets started coming out, he would get them because he knew I lived around the corner and I would be coming there to get them. And he just always made sure there was stock there for me. So it was always fun. But what ended up becoming cool was he would let me know, like, mind you, again, I was like, this would be in, I don't know, 96, 97, like when the cards were like first coming to fruition. And routes. I'll explain that in a second. And so like internet was there, but it wasn't like widespread. And at the time we had like I can't even say we had America Online because my dad was even more frugal than that. We had Juno internet because where America Online would give you like 50 free hours, Juno would give you 100. So it was legitimately, and he had like a bunch of discs stored up. He's like, we're never gonna have to pay for internet. Why are we gonna pay for internet? Internet's a fad. I'm pretty sure he still thinks internet is a fad. Like, he's still waiting for that to stop catching on. But yeah, so I knew what the whole point was. He would tell me about cards that were like a new set was coming before it came, so I could tell my friends, be like, guys, there's new Pokemon cards coming out. So that was always really fun. Like, it was a good memory. So you saw how he was like shaking over there, and like I had a coin flip. So in the game, in addition to just dealing damage, there's also status effects. Starmie's attack has a chance to paralyze, which basically makes it so that for their entire turn until it comes back to my turn, they can't attack and they can't retreat. They're just locked there. There's also confusion, which if your Pokemon's confused, if you try and do anything, you have to flip a coin. So if you either try and retreat or try and attack, you have to flip a coin. If you try and retreat, you flip the coin. If you get a heads, you just retreat, you're fine. If it's tails, you lose energy, like if you had tried to retreat. I'll explain retreating better when the next fight I get. But nothing happens. If you attack and you flip a coin and it's tails, you take 20 damage and you don't end up attacking the opponent. So, And then there's poison, which just deals 10 damage in between every turn. Which is really, really handy. Like, poison is really strong here. What kind of deck do you want? Okay. I should have prepared for this better. So I didn't. Normally I like flip a coin or roll a dice or do something beforehand, and I don't have one, so I'm just gonna do this. Bulbasaur. I can work with that. Okay, a Bulbasaur in Friends deck. Here are the remaining cards. Okay, so I get some cards. Why don't you go to one of the card clubs? There are many people playing at the clubs. Collect new cards and try building a new deck. So, before I do that, if you ever decide to play the game, here's something you do. So if you go and look, I get some cards, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna manipulate these in a sec, but one thing you'll notice is I have very little energy. Normally you have two choices to get energy. One, anytime you beat someone, except for a handful of occasions, you get 2 booster packs, and in every booster pack you get 1 energy card. Which means right now I have... like, I couldn't make anything except like a grass and water deck. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all the other cards I can out of this deck. I'm gonna add in all the energy I got, so I got nothing left. And then I'm gonna talk to this cat over here, and he says, "Excuse me, you don't seem to have many energy cards. Building a deck must be difficult. Here, take these." And now he gives you 10 of every energy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one here, and I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to save the deck. And you may be seeing where this is going. Basically, just load them on up. You can fill out 3 deck slots worth of just energy. And so essentially, you can get 40 energy right here, right now, of each of the main types, so that you never have issues with it again. It's really handy. So that's something, if you decide to play this game, you should always do right away, so that you never have to worry about energy the entire time you play the game. You know, I learned that I was reading through... This is back in the old days of the internet. Because, like I said, I did get internet. It just wasn't like a widespread thing, and it wasn't the same way. But this was when you had, like, cheat sites that told you, like, "Oh, here's how to get the Poke Gods," and things like that. Like, fake cheats that weren't real. But this was one cheat I learned as a kid, and I'm like, this real? And then, after I did it one time, I was like, could I do that again? And I could, and it was beautiful. And so you start out, like, it was like, okay, right out the gate, like, I can't say you can make whatever deck you want right away, but I'm also going to show you a trick that's going to get you a lot of extra cards right away. So between the two of them, you got a lot more flexibility available right out the gate to make something fun. Yeah, I think this first episode, what I'll do is I'll show you the other trick, and then I'll make a deck, and then we'll go to, like, the first... Like, we'll just go fight someone. And so this first episode will probably be a little bit longer than an average episode. Bear with me. So, Unknown Unknown's house. I'm just gonna go there so that I don't have to look at question marks. Oh, shoot. He's not here. You have to talk to someone. This is Ishihara's house. And every so often, he'll have, like, a rare card he can trade you in exchange for one of your own. The challenge hall, I'm gonna pop into, like, every couple of places. And basically, you fight 3 people, and if you win, you get a promotional card. The Pokemon Dome is where I'm going at the end of the game. It's like the Elite Four sort of place. And so then there's 8 other card clubs. And I gotta beat all the trainers inside and thus beat the leaders inside. And if I do, I get a medal. And when I have all 8 medals, then I can go to the Pokemon Dome. Now, if I go here... Okay, I'm going here immediately. Ronald is like he's the Gary Oak kind of guy. Well, getting the rock medal wasn't that hard. If I keep this up, I should be able to get the legendary Pokemon card. He's not really a jerk, but he has some real jerk tendencies. Like at one point, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he names his deck at one point something real unnecessary. It's like he names it like Powerful Deck. And I'm just like... And then towards the end of the game, I believe his final deck is like the Invincible Ronald deck. Yes, I am going to get the legendary cards. What? I can't believe it! How can you not believe it? We just discussed this. I'm gonna tell you what it's about. To inherit the cards, you gotta defeat the 8 club masters and get the 8 medals. It's basically just him explaining to you the plot of the game. No way you can do it. Might as well just give up and go home, because the legendary Pokemon cards are gonna be mine. I already won the first medal. Spoiler. I'm going to take the cards from him. It's going to happen. So, here's the thing. With every club, they all have the same basic... It's a Game Boy game, so they had limited space. So they all have the same basic layout. Going straight up brings you to where, like, the club people... Like, the pure battle area is. And usually there'll be, like, 1 to 3 trainers kind of palling around. And then the leader. Sometimes you have to face the other trainers before you can face the leader, sometimes you don't. With Gene, you don't, but I am talking to him for a different reason. I am Gene, master of the Rock Club. Rock is good. Isn't rock good, GameDad? Rock is hard and strong. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking to him, though, is I'll show you. Would you like to duel him? No. So then, in the other room is always like a kind of palling around room. A bunch of people in here just want to talk. So I'm going to be moving soon to a faraway place. But I'm not sad. I'll make friends. This guy, I believe this is the one who lets me know that Ishihara lives on the cave. So I may be able to go see Ishihara there now. I can't get a card from him yet. So most of these people would just be talking. Sometimes it'll be people who want to trade with you. Sometimes it will actually be some of the people who want to battle. This guy, I think, might be, a member of the Rock Club. So I can actually just battle him outright if I wanted to. But I'm not going to. Here's the main thing. You could go to that desk if you were, like, playing someone back in the day with a link cable. And then there's a computer. And this was the other trick. So if I go to read mail, the first mail is just Dr. Mason saying, you getting the hang of the game? I have some information about you about booster packs. If you want to collect the same cards, duel the same person to get the same... What he's saying is there's 4 types of booster packs in this game. And it's not like base set... Jungle or Fossil, like I said. They're Coliseum, Evolution, Mystery, and Science, I want to say. It's something like that. I'll remember when I see them. It's just a mishmash of the different cards, but each type of card comes in a specific set. So, but here's the point. Usually when Dr. Mason emails you... Oh, he also tells you card pop. Usually when he emails you, he sends you a booster pack. You may see where I'm going with this. Coliseum. And then what did I get? What did I get? Scoop Up. This is actually a really good card if you know what you're doing with it. It's like you just basically take any one of your Pokemon in play, take the basic Pokemon if it's involved, if not, just take the card and put it back in your hand. That may not sound very good, unless you know what you're doing. Like, if you have something like a Chansey or a Snorlax, and it's got a lot of damage on it, you just be like, whoop! And put it right back down. Nidorino, Kadabra, Arcanine, Jigglypuff, Pikachu, Goldeen, Diglett, Charmander. Okay. Now, so yeah, I'll also attach a booster pack for you. So, Mail 2, it's me. I have some information about Gene's deck. Basically, whenever you talk to one of the club masters, he tells you about their deck, what it's strong against, what it's weak against, so on and so forth. And he gives you a booster pack. Ooh, Machamp. I like Machamp. This was like the first rare everyone got, so it's fitting. because this is the one that was in, like, the starter set when it first came out. Haunter, who was really bad until he wasn't. Weeping Bell. Rapid... I love Rapidash. Yes. It's actually a really, really, really good card. Okay. So, the basic idea I was saying as far as the whole getting extra cards thing is you go talk to the leaders. Now, you cannot talk to the Lightning, Grass, or Water Club leaders right away. But you can talk to the other 5. So you can do Fighting. So we just established... I'm just going to push the buttons to get through everything because I'll do the voices and haha and read it out when I fight them for real. But for right now, I'm just doing it so that I could do it. So there's Rock, Lightning, and Fighting. Fighting and Rock are basically the same thing. They just have a different weakness, by the way. Water, Grass, Science, Fire, and Psychic. Science is like they decided, just with all the scientists and everything, they were gonna call it, I believe, Poison. And they were like, that's not gonna fly. Master Murray doesn't listen to what people are saying. So, but Science is... There'll be some other stuff, but for the most part, it's going to be Grass and Psychic. The really easy way to define it is if you're going to be playing cards with coin flips, they'll come up in Science. Ah! Boop. And then I can talk to this guy. Okay, so that basically what I wanted to show you mostly for this first episode. I don't think I'll do a battle. This one is definitely running long. I do apologize a lot for that, but I will put together the deck react. So, but by doing this trick, basically, you get a boatload of energy, so you can make whatever you want, and then you have 6 packs, plus the starter deck, so you can make something a little bit better. Laboratory. It wasn't Science, it was Laboratory. I am mostly confident the last one is Mystery, though. Ooh. Wait. No. That's not very good. I mean, it's alright. Like, 20 guaranteed damage, no weakness or resistance. That's handy. Self-destruct in the right moment. Each player's bench. I don't know that I'll end up using that. But, hey, I'd rather have it than not. Tentacle, actually really handy. For the same reason Scoop Up is handy. You can just pop it into your hand, and it has no retreat cost. So that's actually a filler Pokemon I may put in a deck that doesn't even have water. Just because, like, if he's in, like, your opening hand, for instance, and you want to buy a turn, you just put him out, let him take a hit, and then just toss him back into your hand. So it just basically gives you a free turn of your opponent not getting to hit something that you're going to use for real. Some of these hints are actually legitimate, by the way. Like, this one is saying that Murray uses Alakazam to... Ooh! Anna! Anna! Mewtwo! I mean, this isn't the good Mewtwo, but it's still... It's a good Mewtwo. I'm getting a lot of Golbats. I don't want to use Golbat, but I feel like I'm going to have to use Golbat. I actually don't mind Golbat that much. I can't pretend like I do. I have an issue with Zubat. Zubats are annoying as heck. I don't really mind Golbat that much. Oh, this game's sponsor, of course, Polar Pop. Polar Pop. For all your pop needs. Let me address this while we're just waiting for cards. It's called soda. It's not called pop. It's not called soda water. It's not called Coke for all you people who are in Georgia. Coke is called Coke. For some reason, everything to someone in Georgia is Coke, but it's not. It's soda. And I will die on that hill. I will. It's soda. My kids will likely be watching this. Boys, it's soda. Don't let anybody tell you different. Ooh, Ninetales. Okay, so you'll notice here. So, like, next to the card, I realize I'm trying to point at the screen, and I'm gonna be inside a box. But okay, so you see the picture, and then to the right of it, there's a little symbol. Here it's got like that little claw. There it's got the plant. So anything with no symbol is from base set. Anything with the claw, that was the symbol for fossil. The plant is from jungle. GV means it's exclusive to the Game Boy. These usually have effects that would be really either annoying or impossible to pull off in real life. One of hers is annoying, one of hers is impossible. So the mix-up is, if you use that, if your opponent has any basic or evolution cards, basically any Pokemon cards, period, in their hands, they shuffle them into their deck and then get another, just an equal number of them at random. There's no way to really do that in real life in a way that's fair, so it's not. That's something that's not useful. What is useful is this. For 3 fire, Dancing Embers, flip 8 coins. It does 10 damage times the number of heads. The law of averages, though, says you're going to be doing on average at least 40 damage, which is good. Especially without having to discard. That's solid. Wheezing's actually very good. Coughing is more so good, believe it or not. But, that's why. Because Coughing can always inflict a status. He will go in a grass deck if I make one, even if I don't put Wheezing. He will either poison or confuse, guaranteed. Which is dumb good. Status effects in the original Pokemon, if you use them properly, are really powerful. Stat effects in the cards are more powerful, reasonably speaking. And then, last one, Mystery. So I was right. And I got... Woo! I'm getting some good stuff. Attach to Moltres when you use a stack. If you do, discard that many cards from the top of your opponent's deck. The point of Tails' attack does nothing. It's actually not that great, but... I mean, 80 damage is cool. No matter how you slice it. Almost start... Double colorless energy. Okay, so there's 6 major basic types of energy. Fire, water, grass, fighting, lightning, and... Psychic. I was about to get very upset at myself. Double colorless energy gives you 2 energy, but they're both colorless. Some attacks only need colorless energy. So you can see here, each of Cloyster's attacks use 2 water energy. Meowth's use 2 colorless. Double colorless thus, like, just gets you a turn ahead on anything that could use it. It's really handy to have. So I'm glad I have it. Serious Fossil. Actually kind of handy. So, okay. So now I have a bunch of cards. As I said, I'm not going to battle anyone yet, but I am just going to throw together my first deck while on this same episode. So, let's zero everything out. I'm pretty much have to go grass still, because while I got some good other stuff, I don't comfortably feel I got enough to not use grass yet. There will come a day, but for now, this is where we're at. So I'm gonna eliminate everything, but now you can see I've got like, at worst 43, at best 52 of each of these energies. Like, that's it. So for grass, obviously 2 Bulbasaur. I wish I had one more Ivysaur, but that's fine. I'm gonna throw that in. Nidoran into Nidorino isn't bad. I want to put Coughing. He's handy in a pinch. He really is. Game Boy Tandem is actually kind of alright. Nidoran into Nidorino gives me like 1 beef damage attacker. I might drop Nidoran though. And I will splice in... Let me see what I got for... I love Kangaskhan. That goes in. That's probably... It's one of my top favorite cards of all time. The first... Now, mind you, I have a bit of a history with it. The first, like, pre-made deck I ever got was the starter set, but then I ended up getting one other one, and it was like a grass psychic one, I want to say, but the main rare card was Kangaskhan. And so I use this all the time with the real cards, and I love it because it's super beefy, 90 HP, which is a lot. And for 1 energy of any kind, it can just draw cards. So if you get that in your opening hand, it's basically the perfect card to put out against anything but like a Hitmonchan. Because you can just put them out there, and then most enemies will be doing 10 to 20 damage a turn, and you're just going to be sitting there taking hits and drawing cards. And Pokemon doesn't have a limit on how many cards you can have in your hand. So, it really, really, really good. Hitmonchan is probably my favorite card, to be 100% blatantly honest. I got him back in the day. I used him all the time. And he's not... There's a whole series of Pokemon called, like... the term they used for him was, like, haymakers back in the day. It's like Hitmonchan, Scyther, Electabuzz, cards like that. Types that are basic Pokemon that don't evolve, and so they're way stronger than the average basic Pokemon. He's not the best. Scyther's better. Electabuzz is... arguably better. But I loved Hitmonchan. But I don't have enough fighting to justify it. Maybe another day. That's gonna happen. Electabuzz. I could do Magnemite, Magneton. I could do Pikachu, Raichu. I either gotta definitely go Grass, Water. Yeah, and I don't have enough of the basic stuff, so I either gotta go Grass, Water or Grass, Lightning. I will do a Grass... I'll do Grass Lightning. One of each. Magnemite into a Magneton. Which Pikachu is this? Oh, it's Fatty Pikachu! Yay! Two in a Pikachu's alright. No. Two in a Raichu. And then an Electabuzz. And I will also include... I'll include a Meowth. Because it can also just draw cards, and that's actually kind of handy to have. And that is it for this. And now, do I want to add in Wheezing? What does it do again? Coins of heads from poisoned, self-destruct. For now, I won't. Let me see if I have enough trainers down to it. Professor Oak goes in, Bill goes in. Mysterious Fossil goes in for the same reason Kangaskhan is good. Even though I'm not using a Pokemon that evolves from it. It has 10 HP, it acts as a Pokemon. But if it gets knocked out, it doesn't give the opponent a prize. So if you have that in your opening hand, or even just later on, if you're trying to buy a turn so you can get energy on something to be able to attack, and you put that out, it's a free turn. Switch, Pokeball. Scoop Up's good because I have Kangaskhan. Gust of Wind is helpful. Potion's alright. I'll do Gambler. I flip a coin. I shuffle my hand into my deck. I flip a coin. If it's heads, I draw 8 cards. If tails, I draw 1 card. But it all goes into my deck. So it's not like I'm discarding things. I will include plus power and a defender. I think I may have to add an extra Pikachu, add an extra Magnemite, so I have a better Pokemon balance. And maybe an extra Caterpie. No. Could add an extra Nidorino. Alright, well I'll do 10 Grass and 9 Lightning, and I'm 3 short. Mono. Alright. I will include a Spearow as an Oak Poop button for a random fighting type. And then Eevee's actually kind of a good filler. 50 HP, and he can do up to 30 damage on the right attack. Oh, actually, I will remove one of those EVs, and I will put in a double colorless. Okay. So, grass and lightning, so we're gonna call this the Jungle Storm deck. This is not a very cohesive deck. There is a lot going on. It will get better. But for now, good. So, grass and lightning, mostly grass. So, my best bet would be either rock or water. I'll do water. I'll do water. And the reason I'll do water is because, having not been able to speak to the leader here, I will get an extra pack out of beating her. So, I'm going to save. I know that this first episode was a lot of me talking, not a lot of actual action. I promise this next one, I promise I will have a good bit more. It's going to be straight to matches and going to go from here. This is where it really gets good, in my opinion. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much. If you like what you saw, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, click dislike. And just let me know. Anything else you want to see, or anything you want me to change? Any other games you want me to see me play? If you have any suggestions for decks in the future, anything you want me to make, any combos you want to see, things like that, please let me know. And that's it. Alright, catch you next time, GameDad Fad.